ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम्। महागणपतये नमः। प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्र्यवतु। वाग्देव्यै नमः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः, भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः, स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः, स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः, स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः, स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम। तत्सत्। श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु। ओम स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। Namaskar to all of you. Welcome to the study of
the Māṇḍūkya Upanishad with the Karika of Gaudapada Acharya. In the last class, there was a question, and I told that with one incident, I'm going to start that. But before that, let me take you through, because that was an explanation of the 11th Karika of the 7th verse. So I'll just read the 11th Karika and its simple meaning, and then take you through that incident. Karyakaranabaddhau ta vishyete vishvataijasau pragnaha karanabaddhastu dvau tau turiye na siddhyataha. Vishwa and Taijasa are both considered to be conditioned by cause and effect, but Prajna is conditioned by cause alone. Both of them do not exist in Turiya. That was the simple meaning. Now here Gaudapada Acharya is taking us through comparison and contrast. Compare and contrast. He will take up two things and compare and contrast. We have studied that already. So we have come to the end of this 11th Karika. So we will take up that explanation now. Before that, let me take you through one small story. There was because this story is the answer for the question of our Kolan Chetty in the last class. There was one musician who lost everything in the railway station. His luggage, his ticket, somebody stole it. So he was sitting there in the railway station and crying and telling everybody that he lost everything, he doesn't have money or anything. The luggage, everything was lost, was stolen. So he's crying that he couldn't go to his next destination. Now, there was one music lover. This person who lost everything was a musician. So there came a music lover. He heard about him. He came to know that he is a musician, and he was concerned about him because he too was a music lover. He heard all the problems of this musician, and then he told he will help him. He will take him to the town. He will conduct a benefit show, a concert for the benefit, and he will collect the money for this musician, this Pandit, this scholar, and then he could move forward with whatever the money got collected. The musician, the singer, was very happy. Now the concert was arranged, the music program was arranged, and pamphlets were distributed, and people came to know. So that it was a benefit show. They have arranged this program to help that musician because he has lost, he was stolen. He lost everything. Okay? Lot of people came to hear the music because they too wanted to help this musician. So the program started. As soon as the music program started, when the musician opened his mouth, his voice was so bad. The listeners, audience were very much disturbed. They were very angry. What a bad voice. They couldn't hear anything. There was no raga, thala, no tune, no rhythm. So it was very bad performance. So the audience were very upset. Now they have paid the money for the ticket, and they have come there. Now they cannot go away because it will be a waste. So they were not upset with the musician, but they were upset with the person who arranged the music show. So they came to him and scolded him. They told him, what is this? We paid the money and came to this music show. The singer is singing so badly and doesn't have any tune or rhythm, raga or thala. So now somehow this fellow, the music lover, would arrange this music, wanted to escape from this angry audience. Told, didn't I tell you, he lost everything in the railway station. He lost even tune and his raga and tune and music too. That's why he couldn't sing well. Now somehow they cursed him and they went away. But they told him, warned him, next time if you arrange any music show, we are not going to come. We are not going to attend your music show. Okay. They all went away. There was no, the anger was converted into a different mood. They all started telling that we will never come again to your music show. They went away. Somehow this music lover told, oh, this time I got a respite. Next time I should be very careful. So now this music lover loves to arrange music concert, but now he knows the people will not come. He has got a bad name. Now he thought of a plan. He arranged another music concert, but he announced that this time it was free. People in India, especially Indians, if it is free and discount sale, they'll be very happy. They will start rushing to that program. So he told free. This time there is no ticket, there is no money. So people were very happy. They thought, okay, it's free of cost. If the music is good, we will hear it. If the music is bad, if the singer doesn't sing well, then we shall get up and go away because we have not paid anything. No problem. They all thought in this way and came to the music show. So now the hall was quite big. The music show was about to start. A lot of people have gathered. Now there were no more seats in the hall. So what to do? Now this organizer, the music lover who had organized this concert, he asked the people to close all the doors entry. Every doors were closed because now it cannot accommodate any more people. They had put extra chairs too. Now a lot of people are coming in thousands. So they closed the door now. And the music concert started. As soon as the musician opened his mouth, now this quality of the music of this person was so bad that the people started thinking the earlier musician who lost everything was better than this fellow. So such was the bad quality of the music. Now he told, anyhow, this is free of cost. Let us get up and run away from here. We can't hear anymore. The music is so bad. So it was a cacophony. They couldn't hear any more. They got up and started rushing towards the exit. But all the exit or the entry points have been closed. Now the music organizer told, yeah, entry was free, but exit you have to pay. Now the music quality was so bad, they couldn't hear the music. Then all the people paid whatever there was in their pocket, whatever he demanded, 500 or 200 or 1,000 rupees or whatever he demanded, and they all ran away. So likewise, now we will come to our Vedanta, we will come to our Māṇḍūkya Upanishad. Now we are all Parabrahma Swarupa, Paramatma Swarupa, Atma Swarupa, the Turiya. But when this Mahamaya, the Maya, the ignorance or Maya, showed free of cost and discount sale, all this wonderful, beautiful world, the golden Hiranyagarbha showed all this beautiful pleasure and everything. So we were so happily in that higher state, we got tempted and we entered into this world of Maya, thinking that free of cost. The Maya gave us all the thing free of cost. So tempted us, discount sale, Maya, so desire. It created Ajnana, ignorance, avidya. Then through that we got desire. We thought there will be something in this world, and we came. After coming here, we see it is problem and pain and so much of trouble. For little, very little amount of pleasure, we have to undergo immense pain, so much of effort, pain and problems everywhere. Now we are fed up with this world. We want to go back. We want to go back to, now we have learnt Vedanta, we have to go back to our real state, that is infinity, that is joy. Now Mahamaya is telling entry free, but exit you have to pay. So now what is the payment you have to do? Sadhana, tapasya. But to study the Vedanta and do the sadhana, meditation, puja, karma yoga, all that thing you have to do now, sadhana, austerities. So you have to do the hard work, pay the price and get lost from here. Go away to our real state, escape from this painful world. So that is what the first original sin, Adam, God had warned him not to eat that apple. So he was tempted and he ate the apple, and now he was born in this world as a human being. So from that Adam, all this has come, that is there in the Semitic religions. So now likewise here, that is symbolical. Here it is told in a logical way. Vedanta tells that, Shankaracharya tells that, avidya, kama, karma. We were that Paramatma Swarupa, Parabrahma Swarupa, one without the second. We were that infinity. But we got into avidya. The first original sin was ignorance, avidya. Then because of avidya, because of the game of Maya, now the mixture of truth and untruth, now it looked very attractive and we came down to this world. Kama, there was desire to enjoy this world, pleasure. We came down from that higher state. So now we see it is so much of pain and pain. Enough of playing, we saw everything, we want to go back. But now we have to pay the price. That is sadhana. We do the sadhana, we do the meditation, we do the karma yoga, we do the austerities, and that is the payment we have to pay to go back. So now what is told in this Upanishad? What is the payment which we have to give for the exit? Ekatma pratyaya sara. We need not give up this body, we need not go to samadhi, very difficult. So easier method has been shown by this Vedantic value, especially from Gaudapada Acharya and this Mandukya Upanishad, that ekatma, eka atma pratyaya, self-awareness, constant self-awareness, by pratyabhigna, exerting our true nature, turiya, identifying ourselves with the Atman. That is the payment we have to do, and we can get freedom. We can get out of the misery even now. That is this 11th Karika telling. We can come out of this misery by associating with turiya. Misery can be given up. So that is what we'll studied in the last session. Now we will continue from there. Now here in the 11th Karika, Gaudapada Acharya had told, we will just summarize it. When disassociated from all the three states, from all the vagaries of this world, whether it is Jagrat, waking state, Swapna, dream state, or deep sleep state, when we dissociate from all these three states and looked at from our own standpoint, our true nature, I am and you are all called Turiya, your real state, Parabrahma, Paramatma, God. So this method of dissociation is neither physical nor experiential in nature, but it is in the form of intellectual understanding that my association with these three states is only a seeming one. We gave the example of similar to the movie screen and the movie. And also we got the example, we studied from the example of water in the desert, the mirage, Marichika. In Sanskrit it is called Marichika, mirage. Then we also gave the example of the blue sky. It appears blue. And also we gave the example of the blue water of the ocean. And also we saw the apparent bent in the glass beaker when that glass rod was introduced into that water. It looks as if when that glass rod, when it is entering the water, it looks as if it is bent. So apparently it appears as if everything this world is there, but in reality it doesn't exist. So it is only apparent. So it is not real, it is mithya. It looks as if it is there. So that's why we have to dissociate from that and identify with our true nature, which is always there. The awareness, the self that I am, my true nature, is to be exerted. Now that is what we learned in this 11th Karika. The understanding helps me, this understanding, intellectual understanding helps me to claim my true nature, the Turiya. Thus the three padas are due to association only. When your true nature, the Atman, associates with the mind, then only we get associated with all these three states. Otherwise, no misery. So dissociate from all these three states and associate only with the Turiya. Every human being has this ignorance. You, me, I, everybody have this ignorance, avidya. What is ignorance? Absence of the true knowledge. And what about the ignorance of what? So every human being, all of us have the ignorance of the fact that we are that great Atman or Paramatman, which has infinite bliss absolute, which is infinite consciousness absolute, which is infinite existence absolute. That is our true nature. So we are ignorant of this fact that we are Turiyam, so great. This ignorance, what does it make us to? It gives us self-misconception. It makes us think we are big, we are puny, we are this body, mind, complex, ego, bundle of character. So wrongly we identify as this small creature, helpless creature, weak creature. So it leads to self-misconception. So self-ignorance, then self-misconception. So self-ignorance is the cause and self-misconception is the effect that makes me identify with the gross body, then subtle body and the causal body, resulting in the notion that I am a finite, miserable, limited individual called ahankar, ego. That is ego. Now we have come to know what is that? Ego. Ego is the identity with this limited body-mind complex, bundle of characters, bundle of different habits. So when you identify with that, I am so and so, I have this qualification, I am born into this family, I am the son of so and so, I am the husband or wife or the father or mother of so and so. So all that false identification instead of with the higher nature, the Turiya, all this identification is ahankara, ego, I sense. So what is the cause? Self-ignorance is the cause of self-misconception. Now we have to note 4 pairs of word here introduced by Gaudapada Acharya. Self-ignorance and self-misconception. What are they? 4 pairs of word. The first pair is agnanam. Agnana is ignorance and ahankara, ego. Then agrahanam. What is the next pair of word here used here? Agrahanam, non-perception. And anyata agrahanam, non-apprehension. Agrahanam means non-perception. Anyata agrahanam means non-apprehension. Then the other pair of word used is nidra, spiritual ignorance, and swapna, dream. So nidra is spiritual ignorance and swapna is dream. And cause and effect. So these are the 4 pairs of words which Gaudapada Acharya uses, which we have to note. What are they? Ahankara, agnana, ahankara. Agrahanam, anyata agrahanam. Nidra, swapna. cause and effect, Karya Karana. Gaudapada Acharya then describes which of the four quarters are associated with ignorance and misconception. Now, here starts the comparison and contrast. You will compare between the two states, taking up two states respectively, and then shows where is this self-ignorance and misconception, where it is not, what are the things here. So by understanding that, it is easy for us to dissociate from these three states, easy for or any other innumerable things which we can dissociate easily. So that's why this method, this special technique of compare and contrast has been used. And now, how does Gaudapada Acharya achieve that? How can we now dissociate from these three quarters with this method of contrast, compare and contrast? Now, Gaudapada Acharya starts the process. It describes which of the four quarters are associated with ignorance and misconception, cause and effect. Now, we came to know when our true nature, the infinite Atman, identifies in the waking state with the waker's body, it's called Vishwa. The waker, that Vishwa has ignorance, self-misconception about himself. So, Ajnana and self-misconception. Now, ignorance and misconception. Then the next state is dream state. In the dream state, your Atman or your true nature Turiya has a body. What is it called? Taijasa. When associated with that body, it is called, your Atman is called Taijasa. Now to dissociate from this body, now he is giving its nature. The dreamer also has self-ignorance and self-misconception. Okay? Here too, Atman, there is Atma Vismriti. You are forgetful, you do not know your true nature. Then what is the third quarter? Deep sleep. There, the potential body in the deep sleep is called Prajna. Your own Atman, when identified with that potential body or the causal body, then he is called Prajna. So what is the nature? What does he have? He has self-ignorance. But because he is in deep sleep, he does not have self-misconception. Because there is no waking state, nor even dream. So there is no question of self-misconception, only self-ignorance is there. So Ajnana is there, but it doesn't have self-misconception. Now, the fourth one and the only state, the real state, Turiya, what about that, your true nature? It does not have both. No ignorance there, no self-misconception. When there is no ignorance, there will be no desire, there will be no expectation, there will be no karma, Karya Karana Sambandha. So no misery, no problem, only true, highest bliss, pure consciousness. So that Turiya state, your true nature, doesn't have self-ignorance and self-misconception. So we made the compare and contrast. Now, ignorance does not contaminate Turiyam, that is your true nature, and it is free from both ignorance and misconception. Gaudapada Acharya gives this message in the following verses, but he keeps changing the words of definition constantly. Vishwa and Taijasa are linked with cause and effect, ignorance and misconception. So, what is the cause? I told you, this whole universe, in any state, past, present and future, or intermediary, any state, waking, swapnas, jagrat, any state, this whole universe is seemingly appearing to us, though it is only Paramatman, it is only the Lord, Parabrahman, pure consciousness everywhere. Why is it appearing, this world is appearing to us? Because Swami Vivekananda tells in the Gnana Yoga, we are seeing through the lens of time, space and causation. So I told you about time. So the time, space and causation, kala, desha and nimitta. So time, space and causation are maya, ignorance. So we explained about time. Time is not there in Turiya. Then desha, space is not there in Turiya. What is the concept of space? For space to have desha, there should be two objects. There is no two objects in the Turiya because it is one and one alone, one without a second, Advaita. So no space. It is all Sarvavyapi, everywhere the Parabrahman. Then now we are explaining of absence of in the Turiya, in the real state, in the Atman or the Parabrahman, our true consciousness, pure consciousness, the absence of ignorance and self-misconception. That is Satyam, that is the truth, that is Turiya. There is no Mithya. That is what our Gaudapada Acharya is explaining. And what is he telling? Vishwa and Taijasa are linked with cause and effect, ignorance and misconception. Prajna is linked only with ignorance, but no self-misconception because there is no other activity there. And Turiya, our true nature, is not at all affected by both ignorance and misconception or kala. So if there is no kala, there is no death. So there is no problem, there is no misery. So it's all absent here. It is only pure joy. It is only pure consciousness. Now Gaudapada Acharya comes to the Karika 12th Karika. We got the explanation until now to the 11th Karika. Now we are entering the 12th Karika. What is Gaudapada Acharya telling in this 12th Karika? Natmanam na paranshaiva na satyam napi chandritam pragnaha kinchana samvetti turiyam tat sarvadhrak sada. So this is the 12th Karika of Gaudapada Acharya to the 7th verse. So what is it telling, this 12th Karika? Pragna. What is pragna? When we associate our true nature, Turiya associates, Atman associates with the deep sleep state, with the causal body or the potential body, then it is called pragna. So this pragna knows nothing, neither himself nor others. He doesn't know anything. Neither the truth nor the untruth. The pragna now, Gaudapada Acharya is telling about the nature of pragna. When you associate it with deep sleep, so we do not know anything. You see now, the rishis and munis have done a lot of experimentation. Just like the scientists are doing in the laboratory. Here, the human mind, the human soul itself is taken as a laboratory, and the rishis and munis of yore, of the Vedas, have done so much of experimentation and found now, they're telling, see, we don't know anything about this in our psychology or even science or neuroscience or wherever. But here, our rishis and munis have known all these things millions of years back. So now, what is it telling here? The prajna in the deep sleep state, we, the Atman, our true nature, when associated with that body, we do not know anything. Prajna knows nothing, neither himself nor others, neither the truth, the satya, nor the untruth. But if that is the case, now compare with Turiya. Now compare prajna with Turiya. But Turiya, the fourth one, is ever and the only one. The Turiya is ever the all-seeing consciousness, pure consciousness. So that is what Gaudapada Acharya is telling in this 12th Karika. So we shall explain about this. This verse is a commentary on the second line of the previous verse of this Karika, 11th Karika. Prajna your true nature associated with the causal body or the potential body in the deep sleep state is associated with ignorance, self-ignorance, absence of the knowledge of your greatness, that you are Atman. And therefore, it doesn't know, prajna doesn't know, you do not know anything in the deep sleep state. Neither prajna, the prajna does not know itself, but about others too, nothing, nobody about nobody. He doesn't know about himself, then where is the question of knowing others? He does not know about himself as a deep sleeper. Prajna does not even know the truth, Satya, the Atman, its true nature. Nor prajna knows what is mithya, untruth too. It does not know the truth, the Satya, it does not know even the mithya. Prajna is totally and blissfully ignorant. It is not blissful in the sense of pure consciousness and highest joy, it is only reflected joy. It is blissfully ignorant. See, when you do not know anything, you will have some sort of joy, bliss, isn't it? See, if you go to the savages or in the forest, they will be drinking and they will be always dancing and enjoying. They are blissful. How? Because of the ignorance, blissfully ignorant. But the joy of Parabrahman is fall apart. It is infinite joy. This is only reflected joy. So the prajna, you in the deep sleep, when you are in the deep sleep, you are ignorant of your own nature, you are ignorant of about others, you are ignorant of truth, you are ignorant of untruth, Satya and Mithya. And prajna, that is you in the deep sleep state, is totally, you are totally blissfully ignorant. Everything ignorant. So blissfully ignorant. But we will now compare with the Turiya. So how to dissociate now from this? Your true nature, Turiya, the fourth one is pure consciousness. It is always the witness, the sakshi of everything. All these three states, it is the witness of everything, but it is not associated with anything. It is a witness of ignorance also. Even though it is not associated with ignorance, it is a witness, sakshi. It watches. Witness consciousness, the sakshi, witness consciousness reveals both knowledge and ignorance, but it is untouched by both. This is the speciality, the quality, the nature of your true nature, Turiya. So in the 12th Karika, we came to know about it. Now we are going to the next Karika, the 13th Karika. What is Gaudapada Acharya telling here about our true nature? Here in the 13th Karika, Gaudapada Acharya is telling Vaitasya Grahanam Tulyam Ubayoho Pragnas Turyayoho Bija Nidrayutaha Pragnaha Sa Chaturye Na Vidyate. So here Gaudapada Acharya is telling non-perception of duality is common to both Prajna and Turiya. So now he is comparing with your state as Prajna in the deep sleep state and your state of Turiya. Is comparing with that. What is common to these two states? The common thing is non-perception of duality. In both the things, you don't see duality. You see Advaita only, one. Even in deep sleep state, you don't see duality, multiplicity, variety, nothing you see. You are not aware of yourself, you are not aware of you are not aware of yourself in the sense you are ignorant about your knowledge, you are ignorant about others too. So, non-duality, only one, that is ignorance in the prajna. So both non-perception of duality is common to both prajna and turiya. Prajna is associated with causal ignorance. Mula vidya, causal, which causes everything, ignorance, the mula vidya, the original ignorance, causal ignorance. And that does not exist in turiya. But in your true state, turiya, the fourth one, the highest, this causal ignorance is also not there. So now we are comparing between prajna and your true nature, turiya. Why? By this way, you can dissociate with it and you can identify, associate with turiya. That's why this technique, this method is used by Gaudapada Acharya in these Karikas. Here in this 13th Karika, Gaudapada Acharya is comparing prajna is with the turiya. Gaudapada Acharya is comparing prajna, your state in which when you associate with your deep sleep state. So that is prajna. Then he is comparing with your true nature, turiya, and contrasting them also. Now he uses different terms. Prajna, when in deep sleep, is associated with ignorance, mula vidya, or what you call the original, the causal ignorance. Prajna is associated with this ignorance and turiya is not associated with ignorance. This is the contrast. But there is some common feature, is that misconception, duality is absent for both. So the effect, see, cause is not there. Sorry, cause is there, the ignorance. But the effect, self-misconception, is not there in prajna. So duality, dvaita, seeing varieties, that is also not there in prajna and turiya. So the common feature is that misconception and duality is absent for both prajna and turiya. Prajna is associated with causal ignorance, and turiya, this causal ignorance is also not present there. So now we are seeing the common factors of prajna and turiya, and we are contrasting the ignorance is also not there in turiya. Now we are entering to the Karika 14th. The 14th Karika of Gaudapada Acharya. Swapna Nidrayuta Vadyau. So in this 14th Karika, Gaudapada Acharya is telling the first two are associated with dream and sleep, but prajna in the deep sleep is associated with dreamless sleep. Wise people, that is the gnani, the realized soul or the gnani, see neither sleep nor dream in turiya. The same idea is present again with different terms. There, the compare and contrast has been done, taking up ignorance and self-misconception and duality. Here, Gaudapada Acharya is taking up the idea of dream. The same idea is presented again with different terms, dream and sleep. In the first two quarters, Vishwa and Taijasa, they are associated with misconception and ignorance. The ignorant waker is spiritually a dreamer. Can you find the difference now? In your waking state, all of us in our waking state, we think that we are awake, but we are spiritually dreaming. Spiritually, we are a dreamer there. Only a Gnani, only a man of wisdom, Gnani, alone is a true waker. In the waking state too, the Gnani is awake. Now can you understand? When in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells, Ya Nisha Sarva Bhuteshu Tasyam Jagrati Sanyami. For all the living beings who are in ignorance, what is day is night to the realized soul, to the yogi. Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam Tasyam Jagrati Sanyami. So whatever is the waking state of the realized soul, there all the living beings are asleep. So now you can understand the real meaning of that here by reading this 13th or the 14th Karika. The ignorant waker, we are all in our waking state, we are ignorant, in ignorance. So we are spiritually, we are a dreamers. Only a realized soul, a Gnani alone is a true waker. Now, let us go to the next state, that is, Prajna is associated with ignorance, deep sleep, without misconception, no dream. But wise people, the Gnani is the realized soul, will neither see ignorance nor misconception, dream. So the wise people will neither have ignorance, that is sleep, or misconception, that is dream, in Turiya, and will claim that they are the Turiya. Now we shall take the help of Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna now helps us by these beautiful verses from the Bhagavad Gita in the 5th chapter. What is Krishna telling here in the 5th chapter? Wise people, that is the realized soul, will see neither ignorance, that is sleep, nor misconception, that is dream, in Turiya, in their realized state, and will claim that they are the Turiya. Krishna describes the same thing, that the Gnani, the realized soul, who knows that he is not a doer or an enjoyer, in the 5th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Now, after all this hearing of Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti and other things, we are a little jumbled up. Now when we hear the practical way by which Krishna is teaching here in this verse, we will get a little clarity. So we will hear the words of Krishna. Krishna came after the Upanishadic age in the Dwapara Yuga to make all these Upanishads easy for us. So if we hear the words of Krishna, it will become more practical. So let us go to this 5th verse, 5th chapter, 8th and 9th verse. There in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling, even while seeing in the waking state, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving, reclining, breathing, talking, evacuating, receiving, opening the eye and closing the eye, that is the dream state, sleeping, the disciplined knower of the truth, he understands that I do not do anything at all, bearing in mind that sense organs remains in the sense objects. So that is the 8th and 9th verse of the 5th chapter. So we will go to that Bhagavad Gita verse and understand it better, then it will be a little clearer. Now, what is that verse 8th and 9th? Here Krishna is telling in the 8th verse, Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavit. Na eva kinchit karomi iti yukta manyeta tattvavit pashyan shunvan sprushan jighran ashnan gachan swapan shwasan pralapan visrajan grinhan unmishan nimishan api indriyani indriyartheshu vartante iti dharayan. So in this 8th and 9th verse, Krishna is telling the knower of truth. Now we want to know the truth. Intellectually we are trying to understand. The person who has realized this already by practicing this, what will he have in the waking state and the dream state and the deep sleep state? How does he behave? Now Krishna is telling, comparing himself. He is the Lord, he is the Paramatman. So he is telling about himself, that higher state of his, the knower of truth, united with self, with the Atman, thinks that I do nothing at all. He will be doing all the work. All the work, the breathing, the sleeping, the eating, everything will be going on. But identifying with his real self, the Turiya, Krishna is telling the knower of truth, united with the self, associated with the self, thinks that, see, intellectually, thinks that I do nothing at all. Seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, going, sleeping, breathing. You'll be working, you will be in the family, you'll be doing all the work, you will go to the office. But in reality, you will be associating only with yourself. But you will be even though you are doing all the work, you are not associating with those things, the unreal world. That's what Krishna is explaining here. Now, if I give you one beautiful example, Vyasa Maharshi and the Gopas and Gopis especially, they wanted to cross the Yamuna to go to Mathura to sell their products. Vyasa Maharshi was also there. Now, they couldn't cross. Yamuna was in spate. No boats were there. What to do? The Gopis now asked Vyasa Maharshi, please help us. And he told, I'm hungry. Can you give me some butter, milk, and the curds which you have? So they gave a lot of curds, butter and everything to Vyasa Maharshi. He ate everything. Then after that, he told to river Yamuna, O Yamuna, if I have not eaten anything, then you please give way to me in this river or that high flood situation of the river. Please give me the path. Then suddenly the Yamuna river opened up and gave the way, and the Gopis could cross. And the Gopis were surprised. Just now he ate, Vyasacharya, he ate so much of curds and butter and everything. And now he's telling a lie that I have not eaten anything, then this thing should open. How did this Yamuna open? So now there it is explained that Vyasa Maharshi, a realized soul, he identified with the Turiya. As Turiya, though the body might have eaten all that curds and other things, I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am not the ego. I am the Turiya, the Atman. So I have not eaten anything. So that was a truth. It was not a falsehood. So river Yamuna opened up. So now, even though we are doing all this work, you may be in the world doing everything, just like Ramakrishna gives that beautiful example of the maid servant. The maid servant, see, Ramakrishna used to give such wonderful, simple examples by which these complicated things can be understood. So the maid servant will be working in the master's house with so much of interest, taking care of the children and everybody there as if everyone belongs to her. But in the heart of heart, she knows that none of these people, the children or the house or the owner or the wife of the master, they do not belong to me. My real house is in the village. There are my children. She knows that. But here, while working, she will be attached, she will be doing everything with great interest. But the moment the master removes her from the job, now you are no more needed, she will just walk away, no attachment at all. She will go to another house to work. So this is an example given of the maidservant. Live in the world like a maidservant means the same thing here. Whatever the Upanishad is telling, don't associate with these things of the world. You do everything. You look after your father, mother, wife, husband, children, whatever, the boss, the work, the colleagues, everything, do every work. But be detached, not attached. That's what practically this Upanishad is teaching us. We can understand this because we were confused with all that Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti and other things. Now Krishna is making it clear with these two verses. So we will go in detail to Krishna's teaching. What is Krishna's teaching here? The knower of truth. Now we are all knower of truth intellectually, isn't it? We know the truth, that we are the Turiya. The Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti and all this world is untrue. We are dissociating with that. We know the truth. So how does the knower of truth? It will help us now. How to do this detachment, how to associate only with the Turiyam, how to dissociate with the unreal world and come out of the misery. The knower of truth, Krishna is telling, united with the self, united with the Turiya, your true nature, thinks that I do nothing at all. Even though I am doing everything, he is not attached with all these things, so I do nothing at all. I am the witness. So you are seeing with your eyes, you are hearing, you are touching, you are smelling, you are eating with all your indriyas, with your sense organs, you are going, walking with all your, both the here, sense organs and the motor organs, both is being told, going, sleeping, breathing in your sleeping state too, even in the deep sleep, breathing, speaking, releasing, seizing, opening and closing the eyes and opening the eyes. Now all that thing a person may be doing, Krishna is telling, but the Gnani, the realized soul who is associated with the Turiyam, is convinced the senses move among the sense objects, but not the Atman, not my true nature. Only the mind and the senses are moving about here. I am not the one. Any example? I'll give you two examples. Many times I used to give example. How there will be no pain, no misery. Of Ramana Maharshi. What did Ramana Maharshi do? He got cancer in the hands. So the doctors were supposed to operate it. So they came, they wanted to administer anesthesia. Ramana Maharshi was quite old. He was a Gnani, realized soul. Told, no need of anesthesia, just operate it. He just gave his hand like this, he operated. Without anesthesia, they operated it. It was just like any other, something like an object. It was not associated with that at all. He just gave the body, the hand, like this. They operated it without anesthesia, he didn't feel it at all. It is not just imagination or just words. A Gnani, it is a reality. Any other example? The direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, that is Turiyanandaji. Before that I will tell about Ramakrishna himself. Today in the morning we read in the life of Shashi Maharaj, Shashi Bhushan Chakravarti, that is Swami, the disciple of Ramakrishna, Swami Ramakrishnananda. It tells the last portion of the life of Sri Ramakrishna. He is intensely suffering from cancer, throat cancer. It's bleeding. Can't eat, he can't speak, but even then he's speaking about God. He tells, Ramakrishna is telling, I only feel a small sensation here, that's all. I'm enjoying. I'm in the bliss of Parabrahman. Was about to merge in that Parabrahman Mahasamadhi. Before that he is telling all these things. I'm in bliss. I'm not at all feeling anything. Just a small sensation here. He's suffering from cancer, it is bleeding, is about to pass away. It is consciously telling. How? Because Ramakrishna is associating with the Parabrahman, the Turiya. his real nature. He doesn't feel the pain at all. So in Samadhi, he gave up the body, merging. There was a thrill, there was joy in his face. When we are dying, when we are about give up the body, will be pain and will be so suffering so much. We don't want to give up the body. But here, Ramakrishna is giving up his body in joy. Ramakrishna Ananda or Shashi Maharaj is explaining about it. He was a witness. He's telling, I'm in joy only. I feel a little thing here in the throat. Why? Because it's associated with that. Dissociating with all this body and other things. So what about Turiyanandaji, another direct disciple of Ramakrishna? He had a carbuncle on the back. So the doctors came to operate that big portion of the carbuncle in the back. They wanted to cut it and make the surgery. So they were attended Swami, would-be Swami Yatishwaranandaji Maharaj. He's there with him as a brahmachari, as an attendant. Now the doctor came to do the surgery. He told no anesthesia. At that time there was only one anesthesia. That was the general anesthesia, chloroform. He told no need. I will remove my mind from that portion of the carbuncle. You cut it. The doctor was cutting and it was bleeding. The brahmachari was watching that cut and the bleed. He swooned. But this Swami, bliss, he dissociated from that body, took away the mind from that. And the whole operation was done without anesthesia. He didn't feel the pain at all. His face was serene. Then the next day, or after some days, the doctor came to dress that wound. So he went, he thought, now the Swami doesn't feel the pain. He went and tested. Swamiji, Turiyanandaji was in pain, shouted in pain. Oh, sorry, I thought that he will not have the pain. No. My mind was there in the body at that time, so I felt the pain. Now I will withdraw my mind from that portion or from the body. Then you can do the dressing. Then again, he withdrew at will. He could do that. So the Gnanis can do that. You can also do that. If Turiyanandaji could do, if a saint and Rishi could do, Swami Vivekananda tells, you too can do. If you cannot do, then that is also not true. Anybody can do it. You can also dissociate like that and you can come out of the misery. So there is no pain, there is no misery. So intellectually, if you do, so much of misery can go away. So much of problems can be solved. 50% of our problems can be solved. That's why we are studying to make it practical in our life. I think we have almost completed the time. So I will take up this 8th and 9th verse of the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is helping us to understand this better. And I will explain that in the next class. God willing, we'll take it up tomorrow. Now, we will stop our conversation on this Māṇḍūkya Upanishad and this Bhagavad Gita shloka, where Lord Krishna is helping us to understand this wonderful truth. Now, if you have any questions, if you have any doubts about what we have discussed, you can ask. There are no questions on the live chat. So there are no questions, only one comment is there. Any question here? I think if Kolan Shetty is in the meeting, I, in the beginning, tried to explain his question or answer his question in the last class, about the question which he had asked in the last class. Any questions? Any doubts here? If you don't have any questions or doubts, I can conclude with the prayer. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Thank you. Namaste. Om Namo Narayanaya.